This video is about writing a letter and viewing communications. You may do this from the Contacts or Business tab. Let's click on the Contacts tab, and first you will search through your records to find the person that you want to write a letter to. Let's assume we're going to write a letter to Mr. Ian Dumglass here, and let's also assume that we're going to write a letter to him at his business address, and he's associated with two businesses, and Dumley Consulting is highlighted here. Here is the address of Dumley Consulting. So we go over here and we click on the Communications Letter button. This opens up a template where you can see that Mr. Dumglass's name and address and company have been pulled through here. This is editable if you want, as you can see. Now you start typing the text of your letter, anything you like, and there is a nice feature. If you click on standard text here, you can select from any one of these standard texts that these are dummy ones, but you will have put your own in through preferences, and you can select one of these. Let's select this one, and that text drops into the letter like so. Also, you can insert a merge field, and that will get inserted where the cursor is. So we press on insert merge field and we select a field. Let's select country, and country is there. Now we merge data, and the country then you see gets put in. An example of this might be you're writing a letter and you say, according to our records, your birthday is, so you use this feature, and there it goes into the text of the letter. Headers and footers. In preferences, you will have set default headers, graphic headers and footers, and they are shown here. However, notice that you can change these. You can go to dummy personal header, no telephone number, like so. You can change the logo, so you might want blank instead of the green button logo, or you might want any other header or footer or graphic header that you have created for yourself, and you use these manage buttons to create new ones. You can also assign this letter to a project. It can be any project you like, and when looking at that project at a later stage, you'll see everything associated with the project in the screen. Attachments. You'll be familiar with email attachments. This is where you can attach something to a letter, and you can go to your computer using these symbols here and attach something. And note that whatever you attach will be held within Perfect PA, so if you back up Perfect PA, then the attached document will be backed up too. Typically, you might write a short letter and you might say, "Dear Sir, following our meeting, I'd like to enclose my proposal," but the proposal might be a very extended document that you've done in a separate program. Internal reference. This is not going to be printed when you print out your letter, but this might be something when you look at your list of letters in the communications history, which we'll show you shortly. This will be the internal reference that is a brief description of your letter. So it might be chasing payment for invoice number 123, something like that, and that will get shown in communications history. There are other features up here. Print is obvious. Preview, you can preview your letter before you go to print it. Email PDF document, that creates an email and you can send off this document in PDF format. You can create, after you finish typing the letter, a new to-do, which might be something as a result of what you've said in the letter, and so on. You've got creation date and printed date. You can actually put your own printed date in. The creation date will be today's date. You can put in text about who created it and who might have modified it at a later stage. And also, let's go back to our letter, and the cursor is here. You can also create references, your F, RF, and they will be inserted wherever the cursor is. So typically, and then you might want to move them up here, for instance. cut, paste, and so on. So now that you've written your letter, you print it and you close the letter. Close that, which you've used. Now you can go to Communications tab and notice that at the top of the list of letters there is this letter we've just written. You can use a spyglass to get back to it, but notice here's the internal reference which wouldn't have got printed, and you've got a whole list of the communications that you've made to Mr. Dumglass. And notice here in this history of all communications with Mr. Dumglass, there's communications with him at Dumley Consulting, also with him at Association of Dummy Makers, and so on. Equally, if you go to the record for Dumley Consulting Limited, you'll find letters that you've sent to Mr. Dumglass at that address, but you'll also find letters sent to other people who are associated with Dumley Consulting Limited. Finally, in viewing communications, let's look at this button here, View All. Now you can view all communication types, or just emails, letters, faxes, verbal, special, etc. So let's go to all, and by doing that you now see that you can scroll through your letters, right? And there's 42 sent to Mr. Dumglass, and you can scroll through them all like so. That's a very useful feature. That ends this video about writing a letter and viewing communications.